G'day fans, Postie fans. Today we're just going to go through a little video. Hopefully it's not too long, but what we're going to do is cover some of the gear that we have taken in the past in our trip across Australia, Mandurah to Brizzy, over 30 days. It was just Christy and myself, unsupported, had a fantastic time. So what worked for us then, we liked it so much that we invited a few mates, and 5 of us are going to do it again, Adelaide to Perth over 2 weeks. So it's for them as well. It's just to dispel, if you haven't done it before, you're not sure what to take and what really works. So we just covering what we use. We're not endorsed by any companies, but we'll mention what gear has worked well for us. So I suppose the first thing is sleeping gear. Obviously everything's a personal choice, but the Cedar Summit Comfort Plus, it's awesome, luxury. When you're on a bike all day and you lay this puppy out, it's a large, it takes up a fair bit of space, but it's well worth it. Well worth it. It's nice and comfy, gives you a good sleep ready for the next day. I've gone with, I used this in Tassie in our last trip. I can't really remember using it, so it must be pretty good. So that's a, and it folds up pretty small. 2 degrees, Denali Capsule 300. Nice and compact, warm enough. That was in the highlands of Tassie, so we didn't have any trouble there. So that was good. Recommend, well, that's a fold out pillow. Christy loves it. I don't think it's much good. I just get a pillowcase and shove my jacket in. Boom, 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 and then it's fine. So that's that. I do recommend, and I've mentioned it before in other videos, this is some just light canvas, tent canvas we found. Have 2 pieces of that, one about 1 metre by 1 metre, 1200 by 1200, and that goes on the ground, and when you unpack your bike at the end of the day, everything goes onto the canvas square, and then everything comes off that onto your bike. I find that everything's neat, you don't lose stuff doesn't roll under the bush. If you forget something out there, you lose something, you really know it. Because everything you carry, you need. And then there's a skinnier but longer piece to go underneath your sleeping mat so you don't get any double G's in there. A chair, I'm pretty rough on my gear. We both had one of these Ninox 100s. I broke mine, Christy still loves hers. So it's probably a lot cheaper than a Helinox by far, but yeah, I like this. This is comfy, strong. I've had it, oh shit, how long have I had it now? Ages. And it's test of time. I went for a walk around Tassie a few years back. None of us took hoochies or flies. It rained every day and it was miserable. Trying to cook your dinner in the rain is bullshit. So that's a hoochie or a lightweight fly somewhere here is worth its weight in gold. So one of them, or one between 2. It's good. Panniers, chairs on the. This is a Temu special. Folds up to nothing. All right, Christie's put the foam on the top. You press down on it. Hey presto, here's a little chair. Or a little bucket if you need be, carry your stuff. But when you pull up for lunch and just want to make a brew, you don't feel like pulling this thing out and assembling it all. It's buried in your bag. This thing, slide it out from under a bungee, pop it out, and you're off the ground. Yeah, I love it. That's awesome. It's one of those little things that just make life worth living, or easier. Cooking. The good old jet boil, yeah. This is the taller one. Nowadays I probably prefer the shorter, fatter one, but everything folds up. We've had this thing for years, as you can see. It's starting to wear out. The little thing don't work anymore, but yeah, quality. It works every time. Or go for something smaller. That's a little titanium thing. Again, nice and compact. We keep this one as a backup. but we've never had to use it because the jet balls never let us down. Water, carrying water, we don't bother with camelbacks and all the rest of it. We stop it. We stop enough, you know, little posties, always need fuel. So we stop often enough just to pull a bottle out of the pack. So the 1.5 litre bottles fit in our panniers perfectly, but you just shove them in the top anywhere. So yeah, always on special servos. That's what we use for water. Now, panniers. Tent. The latest acquisition, what we used in Tassie, was a Denali Kakadu. Quite inexpensive, on special at the moment, I think. It says 2 person, 2 intimate people, yeah. 2 strangers, probably no. But it's got tons of room for you to put your jacket, your boots, your helmet, all that sort of stuff inside the tent when you go to the pub, you know, or your caravan park or whatever. So that's good. Haven't really had it in a rainstorm yet. I don't know how it'd go, but that's where your hoochie or your fly comes in. So I recommend that. That's working for us so far. Riding gear. Hopefully we're going in April, end of the dry season as such, and it's into winter. Rain's a bugger, but you always got to take wet weather gear. Hypothermia is a real problem if it's you're out there and you're wet, and you're cold, and you're miserable. So dry rider gear, just plain plastic pants, keeps you dry. Yeah, with those press studs up the side so you can get them over your boots without taking your boots off is handy. Yeah, it's always a bit of a struggle. For that there, and more importantly, we've found that this light dry rider jacket, people can see you, especially when it's raining. It's light enough just to fold up and stuff just about anywhere, and you can put it over, use it as a normal raincoat around camp. Yeah, so that's been really good for us. Chrissy's got a small one, I've got a big one, we're like little twinsies, but that's good. Wet weather gloves or winter gloves, it's good. We had quite a few, well not quite a few, but a few really cold mornings where our fingers were frozen. Oh my god. So with them, a light pair is good. I usually cut the tip of the finger off so I can operate my navigation on my phone. That's alright. Helmet. We ride road, we ride trail, we ride all sorts of things. But I've had expensive helmets before, like showy, really expensive, and uncomfortable. These ones, LS2 Explorer Plus, fantastic right from the get-go. Christy, you didn't have any hot spots or anything. Christy didn't have any trouble at all. I didn't have any trouble at all. We went and rode 4,000 Ks and no issues. Plenty of ventilation. I like the peak, Christy doesn't like the peak. But it's got a sun visor in there and also the clear. So I took a couple stacks, no issues. Awesome. Boots. There's a lot of hate out there for the former boots. They probably don't support you as well as, or they definitely don't support you as well as a motocross boot. There's no doubt about it there. But for the speed we're going, you know, I did come off, I did twist my ankle. Is a little bit still sore. So, you know, there is that. But there is a lot of people out there wearing these boots without any issue. I quite like them. If money was not an object and you did this all the time, you probably would go a pair of motocross boots just to sort of protect your ankle. But the boys, yeah, just something that covers your ankle, something that supports your ankles. If you break your ankle, trips over. Clothes. Basically you've got 3 sets of clothes. You've got stuff you ride in, which I'll show you what I use. T-shirt, long sleeve shirt, and heavy lined pants. Yeah, they're that heavy. I've got to wear braces with them, keep them up. But they're comfy. You know, you come off, you're not going to lose skin. And I just wear them. You don't feel the weight of them when you're riding. And I've done thousands of Ks in these, no problem. So you've got your riding gear. You'll have your riding jacket as well. Then you've got your camp gear. So just a light pair of cotton pants, a pair of shorts, so we'll go swimming. T-shirt, that's about it. Long sleeve shirt. Keep the mozzies off. Some places we go, there could be mozzies. And then you need your stepping out gear. You're going to be staying at some pubs. You're going to be having a few pub dinners. So you want to look respectable. So and that's about it. Three pairs of clothes.
There's your jacket, riding jacket.
Riding jacket. All right, riding jacket. I have an old Moto Dry. It's ancient. It's been around forever. Never had an issue with it. It's awesome. How I like to ride and travel is I've left. It doesn't have the liner in it because it's bulky, right? So what I do is I have a stripped out jacket. I've got my armour in it, and I layer. So I'll have a t-shirt and a fleece, your jacket, and if it's still cold, I'll put my wet weather gear on, keep the wind out. You know, I think you're far better off having multiple layers than one big heavy jacket. I've done it before, it's like that comfy. And you know, keeping hydrated, overheating and getting too cold is quite easy to do in the outback on the bush on a little motorbike. So that's what we do. That's about it. Oh, panniers. Did you talk about panniers?
Panniers and boxes.
Panniers and boxes. So for the boys that are coming on the trip, we've got enough to cover everybody. But for yourself or someone else new, we have made up these panniers for our big trip. Yeah, it's one of them. We've got a sewing machine, and so we made up these, just copied a well-known brand. They're just a roll top pannier, and they worked very well. A few stacks, strong as. But we have found for smaller trips, we don't need to take as much gear. These guys here, push bike panniers, the Azure. What's really cool about these, which we really like, is they've got a hard back, and these little clips clip onto the rack of the Postie perfectly. Perfect. You just clip them on, and we've had stacks with them and they haven't come off. And what's really nice about that is when you pull up to a motel or a pub or anywhere where you want to get your gear off, we had to unload these because they were sort of screwed on, strapped on. These ones here, pull your little lever and carry it into your room. Freaking awesome. You know what I mean? For the ease and comfort of just grabbing all your bags and throwing them in less than a minute is awesome. Waterproof. Doesn't quite carry as much gear, but
enough.
Yeah. We carried too much gear that first big trip. We were loaded up to the hill, and at the end of the day, you don't really need a lot of it. Boxes. We've gone through a couple different models of boxes and stuff like that. The first trip, the big long trip, we had the post office white Corex box on there with a cover on, and that worked really well. But again, that was screwed on. You had to unload everything, and it took a lot of time to unload it and load it every morning. This one, we just undo the straps, carry it into the room. So we've got two of these, and we've got two other boxes. The boys can fight over who wants what. But that's the go. Boxes, panniers, fuel, carrying extra fuel. I really like this idea, carrying the fuel bags. This one's a giant loop. We've got a 7 litre and a 4 litre. That's just all they had. Beauty of this is you just fill it up, you strap it on top. When it's empty, you roll it up and you stash it under it. You know, it's you haven't got this big empty container taking up room all the time. And you don't always need this. It's only certain treks. I think we'll probably need to carry fuel twice. I think maybe to do the sums. But so just for convenience, I like them. They're really cool. Yeah, and didn't seem to affect, like 8 litres just hanging off the back. Didn't even know it was there. So that was really good. So that's fuel. Seats. Spending a lot of at least minimum 5 hours a day on the Postie, right, minimum. So we made up, or Christy made up, very clever, a lamb's wool cover that just straps on. I've got a pretty basic one here, or you can go super deluxe and have an air, what's called an air hawk, and you're just riding on air. A lot of people love it. I didn't really like it. You didn't really like it, did you?
High. No.
You sort of sat too high and it didn't feel stable on it, but a lot of people like it. So that's that one there, Air Hawk. And that's about it. What else have we got that makes our life easier? One of these little things. This here, pretty grubby now. You don't like to be in the mud, like, especially if it's been raining. Everything's wet and muddy or dusty. So your food, your cooker, your drink, everything's in there. So we made this up. Our little table. Pretty grubby. So that's either our little box to carry stuff to and from the camp kitchen, yada yada, or throughout the scrub, we're sitting around our chair. Everything's off the ground. You know, and it works really well. So that was something that was a nice surprise. All right, keeping your stuff secure. I quite like these little snake locks, Bunnings. Not that expensive. The only gripe I have with it is you need your key to actually do it up, which is probably good because
you can't.
If you lost your key,
you can't lock your bike.
There's a video about keys and locks in the past. So yeah, they're good. Put it through your helmet, put it through your jacket. People aren't just going to pick it and take off. Love it. All these helmet locks here like that, quite inexpensive. Combination people if you've got it, because then you can't lose the key anyway. Alright, food. On the big trip, we mailed food ahead of ourselves. But we ended up with so much food. Like, we just didn't need that much food. Most little towns have an IGA where, you know, quite reasonably priced, and you know, you like to share the money around. So IGAs, you can get everything you need. But however, what we've found is obviously lightness is a key, and simplicity. So what we found, obviously you need a dinner, a lunch and a breakfast. So breakfasts, Uncle Toby's ready oats, awesome, they're good. We just rip them up, pour the water and eat out of a bag. That's good. Little cans of baked beans, don't have any here at the moment, but a little can of baked beans and a wrap, awesome breakfast. Gives you energy all day. Lunches, same. Cans, packets of tuna or cans of tuna. These packets are good because they can fold them up and get rid of them. They're not a can. Yeah. Them with some wraps. Wraps are big time. Bit of cheese, bit of hard Baby Bell cheese or something like that. Soft ones are okay if they don't get too hot. Salami. In the army, we used to just get a stick of salami and hang off the back of the pack, shove it in a pocket somewhere. Never died. It was all good. If it's cold, miso soup is good. packets of soup, you know, everybody knows this, but and what we did find is for dinner, these dried mushrooms in a cup of soup or a little stew with some beef jerky thrown in. Oh, none that good. That was awesome. Just the flavour comes out of both of them. Really cool. The ones that get at Coles, the pasta and sauce, you just add water and boil it. That's quite filling. The pasta is good. In a wrap again, you know. Snacks. Biscuits. Popcorn's good. Little popcorn. Doesn't take up a lot of room, but it's as light as. Muesli bars. Scroggin. You tend to trail mix. Yeah, you tend to use up a lot of energy. Little bikes that take some riding sometimes, especially if you're off road. So yeah, chocolate bars and all that sort of gear is good. Plenty of energy. Coffee, man. I did a two week walk in Tassie, and they didn't take coffee, and it was torture. So this is the best bit we've found. Coffee bags, different flavours, take up no room. They're light, and they're good to go. Milk's a hard one. We've tried powder. Sweet and condensed is okay, but it's a bit sweet for our liking. So what we tend to do is get the little UHT, thank you, UHT milks, and especially if there's 5 of us, alright, we'll get a few of them, and for coffee in the morning, we'll just open one, share it around the 5 of us, and we'll be good to go. So that's food. Because this trip we're going to be meeting a car every second day. That's the plan. So we can get a few of these heavy stuff you wouldn't normally take. But braised steak and onions, big can of that at the end of the day in a wrap, and a bit of cheese. Oh, good to go. So we'll get a few of them, and we'll just pull them out every second day and throw them in our postie bags. We won't have that much gear in them. Not a lot of food, not a lot of water, because we're supported. Just enough that we do get stuck, and we're there for a few days. Yeah, we're not eating each other. Yeah, it's not a fight to the death. Righto, tech. Boys, we should have enough of these comms. If you've got them, bring them. What are they called? Centers. Center comms. There's 5 of us on the road. We should be able to. We've had 4 talking to everybody, so we should be able to get 5, which will be awesome. We'll laugh at people falling off. So that's our comms. Safety. We'll have 2 Garmin minis. We can message each other from that, so we'll be able to talk to Christy in the van if we have any mishaps or if she has any problems. So that's good. Plus we can hit the little SOS button and people come looking for us, which would be great. Cameras. I've got my little Hero 3 GoPro. I love it. It's as old as the hills. Big fat buttons. I can use it one hand riding a bike. Not recommended, kiddies. Probably shouldn't be doing that. But yeah, reliable, easy to use. Not waterproof, not stabilised, not nothing. But it's good. I can use that. Or we've got a fancy one which we're using right now to film this, and that's stabilised and waterproof and all the fancy stuff. But if you've got one, boys, bring it. The more footage we get, the better, and you should be able to capture some of those funny things that go on that you sometimes miss. I'll be taking a drone, one of these little Neos, handheld. You press the button, it does its thing, it lands back in your hand. So we should get some pretty good shots without having to unpack everything, set it up. We took a drone for us on 30 days and used it twice last time. It was just too much hassle to set it up and pack it up. Digital camera, love it. We'll take that. We will have, every bike will have a dual charging plug on it. So So you'll be able to charge your phone, your earbuds, or whatever you want to charge. Do recommend, maybe not this big, this is quite big, but somewhere in between these two is a battery pack that we can charge at night time when we're in the caravan park or whatever, and then you've always got a backup if you start getting low. That's about it. Safety wise also, I always take my little hatchet here to cut some wood or kill zombies or something. That's always handy. Bit of rope. Always take cotton wool balls rubbed in Vaseline and a striker. Little striker. You'll always have a fire going if you got that on board, even in the rain. Compass, and that's about pocket knife. Always take a pocket knife, and that's about it. Is it done? I think so. So hopefully that's given the boys an idea of sort of what works and what doesn't. We'll supply the tools, we'll supply the bags. That's about it. You boys supply the rest. Any problems, give us a call and we'll tee it up. But yeah, it's just an idea of what works and what doesn't work. Alright, thank you. With your clothes, I didn't mention, but panniers aren't always dry, right? So what we found that really works well, especially these cheap Kmart ones, tough as nails. Christy dragged hers behind the motorbike for I don't know how long, and it didn't leak. Didn't get a hole in. No, I did.
It did eventually.
Eventually it did, but put up a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So recommend them. Put your clothes in it. Put your clothes in the panniers, and then guaranteed to dry. We didn't have any issues. Again, layering. I got this little thing Christy's made me. I love it. It's beautiful. But even a fleece, a t-shirt, something like this, puff daddy jacket. So the idea is nothing's too bulky, but put it all together and it works. It keeps you warm and dry. So yeah, that's about it. I think we've covered a lot. Thanks for watching. I hope you've learnt something. Hope it's useful to you. Like and subscribe. Keep watching.
Camera?
Cut.
What camera?
Are you filming? No.
Yeah.
You still filming?
It's alright, I can cut it.
This is why you put things and everything stays in that home.
You went inside there.
There it is. Found it, people.